Not only are the AEW ratings appalling, but apparently a majority of the roster are appalled with Tony Khan over Toni Storm's return match taking place on Rampage. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. And yes, we watched Dynamite. Winter is coming. It turns out in the end there was a storm coming, and no, it wasn't Jade Cargill, it was Toni Storm returning. It was a lackluster return, to be honest. She appeared in her old gear, old gimmick, stood on top of the ramp, looked at the crowd one way, went to look the other way, realised there was no crowd, and then the show just ended without any sort of interaction, any sort of physicality, not a single word spoken, and we're all sitting here as the show went off the air, and we're thinking, that was a bit lackluster. I thought they would have give Toni Storm a better return than that, but don't worry, the Can Man, Tony Khan, he's got it all sorted because he's decided how to follow up on that. And he's going to do it with Toni Storm's return match, her first official match back, happening on not Dynamite the A show, not Collision the Distant B show, but it's going to happen on Rampage, the soon-to-be D show, once Shockwave's debuts.
Let's play Devil's Advocate for 3 seconds. Is this Tony Khan with a last-ditch Hail Mary to try and bring some viewerships to Rampage?
No, Rampage is dead. Let's not... No.
Yeah, I was trying to defend Tony there.
Hail Mary. The fourth quarter ended on Rampage 10 years ago, man.
It's overtime in a game, they're like 40-0 doing it.
I don't know how many times the quarterback on Rampage is fumbled. They don't even have a quarterback on Rampage, alright? There's no fumbles. There's no ball.
He's got no arms.
Rampage is a fucking show that's extinct.
So what is this? Is this Tony Khan just showing how inept he is, or is this Toni Storm getting punished for saying that she was retiring or something? It feels like a punishment to me.
Who knows, but this is like one of the best things AEW have got, and yeah, let's just waste it by having the return match on Rampage against...
But it's the same with Ricochet, right? Like, why is he getting put on Rampage? Why is Matt Cardona against Jericho on Rampage? It's like, they're just people in matches that don't... See Rampage, it should be...
No, but let's forget about them. Toni Storm is like the best thing on AEW for the past year. Deserves better treatment than this. This doesn't deserve to come back and be thrown onto Rampage. Fucking retarded.
Yeah, but we know Tony likes men.
I think that's pretty clear that he likes men in more ways than one. But anyway, speaking of a half man, Brian Alvarez from the Wrestling Observer has said the following about Tony's match being taped for Rampage, and he went on to say that people within AEW, a lot of people are appalled with this decision, and they think that Tony Khan has got it drastically wrong. So Brian Alvarez said, quote, "Do you know how many people I talked to in AEW yesterday, and every last single one of them, aghast, may not even be the right word, appalled that Toni Storm's return is on Rampage. I swear to God this is true. You could have had 200 people lined up outside Tony Khan's door last night, one by one. All 200 of them could have gone in there and said, 'This idea is stupid,' and do you know what would have happened at the end of the night? He'd have still done it, because that's what happens. People argue things with him every week, and at the end of the day, he does whatever he wants." End of quote. And you know what? That does actually sound pretty frighteningly close to Mr. McMahon, but I think McMahon had better ideas than this.
Oh, he did. Absolutely better ideas.
No, imagine Austin returning for the neck injury, and his first thing back's a dead match on Heat against some jobber for fucking, Velocity or something.
I think the cat's out the bag for Tony, because you've got guys like Brian Alvarez,
all these guys that
are slickers.
Yeah, they're all turning their back, or at least they're being open and honest.
They're all selling it. You know why they're selling it? Because they've realised that AEW's died.
Yeah, but let's be honest, that's not right. Like, that's just made up fantasy world, 200 people lining up. You're never going to get 200 people going against what Tony Khan's saying.
No.
I get the point he's making, that Tony Khan wouldn't change his mind, he was going to do this. But let's not pretend that there's 200 people in AEW with a backbone that are actually going to stand up. And, there's maybe like a handful.
Yeah,
maybe Toni Storm herself or whatever, but it's not like you're going to get 200 people going to Tony Khan and begging him to change this. Oh, you're wrong, Tony. Put her on Dynamite instead. These people are comfortable with their big money checks.
And also, some of them are clueless. There's probably people backstage who think this is a good decision.
Oh, this is good for Rampage. Putting a big match on Rampage.
Bet you Jericho is one of those guys that thinks, here, Another big thing happening on Rampage, like my match.
Yeah, Toni Storm helped me draw rating, Papa rating. Nah, this is embarrassing, man.
The Learning Friday.
Honestly, I thought when she returned, I thought it was really lackluster. Just the way she came out and didn't do anything, just looked around the crowd. And then when you find out that he's, and I don't even know who her match is against, but I believe it's somebody. It's not somebody in the company. It's somebody. It's like local talent. It's a local jobber.
They all feel like local talent. But I tell you what, though, is she can return to her normal generic gimmick that's just known for wrestling. So, is it any surprise that she's just having a shitey wrestling match on a show that lasts an hour and it's about shitey wrestling?
Yeah, I know, but even if this was a world title match against Mariah May or something, I'd still be questioning why is this happening on Rampage.
Yeah.
But it's a throwaway match against somebody with not a name. Or if they do have a name, it's not a relevant name.
I'd be questioning even if it was happening on Collision. Because I think Collision's that far, but Rampage has been... I can't remember the last time we reviewed Rampage, man.
I think at that time CM Punk was on it.
That might be it.
The second ever show then.
Aye.
Anyway, guys, there you go. People are appalled. I'm appalled. This is shocking, but it's Tony Khan, so at the same time, it's not that shocking.
I'm appalled.
That's plenty. Anyway, guys, let's know your thoughts down below. I think Toni Storm deserves better than this, but Tony Khan does what he wants, and he does sound a bit like Vincent Kennedy McMahon there, but McMahon would never make a mistake this dumb.
No, the difference is, though, right? They actually feel like they can go to Tony and probably say this to him. See, McMahon, it was his company, and you know what? All this hatred about McMahon, truths are being spun and lies are being spun. It's like the fact of the matter is this. See, 9 times out of 10, McMahon ideas were fucking great. He wouldn't put his top stars. I'm not saying Toni Storm's The Rock or Austin, but he wouldn't put his. He would never book anyone like this, man.
No.
The only people he would book like this is people like that would come from like the indies that the marks would think are great, but he's like, no.
Yeah, no.
It's like when Karrion Kross got put in the gimp mask against Jeff Hardy. People were outraged as if it was like, yo, honestly, I think that match he had with Jeff Hardy is one of the most memorable things Karrion Kross has done.
I agree. Anyway, guys, that's it. Let us know your thoughts down below. Toni Storm, Tony Khan, the two Tonys not getting along. Till next time. Peace.